All right, so the first question is, other than the obvious tension with India, how does Pakistan get along with its neighbors? And I thought it was pretty clear that with Afghanistan, although obviously they're not anymore, there's a lot of conflict over there in regards to what Afghanistan feels like is an invisible line between an area where they share a lot of culture, and apparently there's been a lot of refugees that had been going over to Pakistan, and so they started to create a border, a physical one, and it seems like outside from India, it has its most problems with Afghanistan. Um, and then from there, Iran, and it has very little like influence between the two countries. Politically and culturally, they're very different countries, and although they're both like Muslim countries, they're still very different, and it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of issues between them. And then the least one they have any problems with is really China, and in many ways, China has been an ally to Pakistan, and their relationship has been growing and has been good for Pakistan. Who do you think are Pakistan's greatest allies? Which countries or groups pose the biggest threat to Pakistani security? I think that because of the groups that are in Afghanistan right now, I think that they pose a bigger threat than India does. I think that with Afghanistan and everything that's going on, or that has been going on with the war and everything, I think that that's the biggest threat to Afghanistan right now. I think that, of course, there's a lot of things that could trigger India to, like Kashmir and other things, but I don't think that that's as prevalent of an issue as Afghanistan is. As far as the greatest allies, I think China is. I think China has a lot of interests in staying friends, in a sense, with Pakistan because of the access to the rest of the area that goes right through Pakistan. So I think that, especially since China has essentially invested a lot of money into giving money for infrastructure to Pakistan, they're the biggest ally. Who has the most economic interest and influence on Pakistan and why? I honestly think that there's a lot of different reasons as to why the answer would be India, right? And I think that a lot of that has to do with the obvious answers that we've said in this entire lesson. But something that I went and I dug a little bit deeper really makes me think that it's China right now. China has given Pakistan so much money in order to be better infrastructured. So basically, like a recent package that they gave them was for $46 billion in infrastructure and development and assistance. So it's an intensification um, relationship that they have right now, and it's a two-way trade that goes on. They basically have free trade between both countries, and Pakistan receives a lot of money and receives a lot of relief, and they get to trade with China, and China gets a lot of it. So I think that if something was to happen with like China, where they would got that money, or something like that would happen, that could be essentially a huge game changer for Pakistan, way more economically than other countries because of how much money that they have given Pakistan. So that's my opinion. I think that at least it makes a little bit of sense from the reading that we gave that we had this week, that of course there's other impactors and other factors, but I think that currently China is definitely the biggest one.